I'm always so excited when I get PIHRA royalty and HR royalty into the booth, into the chair. Susan, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for asking.
Yes. So let's just start off with the conference. How's it going for you?
It's a great conference.
Yes. What's something you heard or that you came across and you were like, see, that's exactly why I come. Love that.
I think realistically, it's the vibe.
Yeah.
You know, it's the way that you're experiencing people experiencing the conference.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. We've got a really positive vibe in the exhibit hall.
Yeah.
And in a lot of the sessions, people are like, yeah, I needed to know that.
I hear that a lot from people. And I probably just jumped right into it, but maybe just for the listeners, give me just a quick kind of nickel tour on your background, who you are, professional CVs, what you do with PIHRA.
Oh, that's a hard one. I have a very eclectic career. I've been in HR since 1998.
Yep.
And I have held director level positions, and currently I'm the senior HR manager for RITE. In regards to supporting the HR teams on the West Coast.
That's awesome.
Supply chain.
That's awesome.
So, and for PIHRA, I'm the vice president of the executive board.
Yes. Thank you for let me just lay some groundwork for everybody. How about for the rest of the day? Have you heard any particular speaker or buzz, or what do you think circled on either your calendar or you're hearing is circled on people's calendar?
I haven't had a real good chance to look at today's stuff, but there was some really good content yesterday in regards to neurodivergence.
Yes.
The other one is in California, the Senate Bill 553.
Is that the workplace violence prevention program?
Yeah,
that's we did an episode on that actually. Yeah. With some of the folks that helped write it. So it's a great episode, a couple episodes back. How about on the neurodivergence? What did you sit in on that?
I didn't get there. I had another commitment, but it was really thoughtful to see how we look at people who are on the spectrum or who are coming through your organization that are bipolar or and I've dealt with those individuals in my career, and it's like, how do you manage those circumstances when they get to a place that's not safe?
And do you mean like how most effectively and or how legally, or all of the above?
All of the above.
You have kind of thoughts on that, or do you have a story?
Well, I had an associate that came to me who is bipolar and indicated that he was in a depressive state and he wanted to commit suicide. So, I let him talk for quite a while, and a lot of it stemmed from family issues. And then I picked up the phone and I said, you're going to talk to our EAP today.
Good for you.
And as soon as he was able to talk to them, I said, as soon as they get on the phone, I'm leaving my office so that you have a complete confidential environment. I'll be right outside. And when you're done, we'll talk. And then I sent him home for the day so he could kind of come back and gather his thoughts.
I think you're representing what so many HR people probably have unfortunately had to go through. You guys are really bearing so much, emotional brunt for the company of various folks. So thank you for sharing that story and how sweetly you dealt with that employee. Within the world of HR today, what's keeping you up at night?
Workplace violence prevention plan. I'm in a warehouse environment, so we have about...
And for transparency, today is May, 22nd or whatever, and this due date is July 1st, so this thing's coming down the pipe.
So this is coming down the pipe. We're furiously working through what does the log look like, and do we have a survey that we can do that captures the log information? Do we have all of the training materials ready to go to launch on, at the 1st of June, because it all culminates on July 1st. So not only do you have to have the plan and the policy, but the training has to be completed all by July 1st.
No, it's tough. It's a lot coming down. So this is kind of something that's like, it's really priority A these days.
Yeah, it is. ADA accommodation is another big one.
Talk to me about that. What do you mean?
Well, there are so many people in the workforce today that require some kind of accommodation, even if it's for a short period of time, because it's a work-related injury, or because they've got something going on. And so, sorting all of that out and getting to that timely.
Do you have to tackle a lot of that yourself, or do you have to bounce that off counsel, or how does that go?
All of the above.
Yet again, isn't that HR in a nutshell? It's just keep circling D, all of the above on these things.
Well, I mean, you have first you have to have that initial conversation, and then you have to dig in and see really what the problem is, and then what are they asking for, and is it reasonable, and can you look at it, and how big is your organization so that you can't really deny that accommodation?
I think employers are, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but I'd be curious your thoughts on this. I have found employers are sometimes too quick to deny, and you're like, why? What, you could do this, right?
The one that we run into the most, which I think is like, why would you deny that, right? Is so you have an individual that has some kind of disability or an illness.
Yep.
And they've used up all their FMLA or all their CFRA leave, all their protected leave is gone. The company gives you another 3 months, so you get out 6 months out, right? Yep. And at the end of that 6 months, I'm not okay, and I can't come back to work yet. I need another 3 months because my treatment didn't get started timely because of complications from XYZ, right?
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah.
This is unpaid leave.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're not paying anything out. So
is the issue just holding their job for too long, and we all just want to move on, sort of a thing?
I think employers are quick, especially in California. Let's just pull the trigger. Let's just make them go away. But realistically, if you just give them a little more time and you maybe have some conversation, a lot of times they'll make the decision for you.
I find that too, and even with employees that aren't a good fit culturally, sometimes, like Janan sometimes jokes that she in her career has found that people fire themselves, sort of thing, where they come to realize this isn't a good fit either for ourselves, and they kind of move off. I wonder if there's not a counter argument to explore where the reason maybe employers kick those folks off when they can is, are they likely to be a claimant going forward then, right? Where it's like, well, this might be a problem rehire, or if you just don't agree with that?
Everybody in California is a risk for litigation.
That put that on my tombstone, right? That's such a true statement. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. So
really, if you think about it, right? I mean, you can try to mitigate risk as much as possible, but at the end of the day, everybody who has some kind of a dissatisfaction with you is likely to sue you.
Yeah, and I joke around sometimes about like the prevalence of what I'll call like main character syndrome, or like people are the star of their own story and you're just kind of an extra. So even if the slight wasn't even objectively a slight, they have felt slighted, right? And they're just like, they're not going to stand for it, sort of a thing. So.
I get it all the time. We have a very diverse workforce.
Yeah, good for you.
And I mean, really diverse. And it's very indicative of the community that we live in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, as soon as you do something that they don't agree with, it's like, well, you're racist.
Yeah.
And it's not the right choice that you want to hear, because you're trying really hard to try to help this individual, but they just go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter.
Do you have thoughts on how you can maybe bring someone back? So maybe whether it's the race card or some other card or another, where you think that isn't what's truly happening, and you appear to be going down this road, which puts everyone in jeopardy, gets everyone's kind of, well, now we got to get the lawyers, etc. How do you walk someone back when it's really what might be happening is sort of an emotional slight?
Usually it's an emotional reaction to something, and at the end of the day, it's like, all right, why don't you talk to me about that?
Yeah.
Right?
So you just go in and play Mama Bear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the best way to conduct an investigation too, right? It's like, hey, tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And because they really want you to listen.
Yeah.
And as long as you're open and you're listening to the individual and not trying to make a case for what's going on and not jumping to any conclusions, just take notes, right? And then you can dig a little deeper as you go through that. And usually it resolves itself if you stop and listen.
People need to feel heard, right? And if you can help them to feel heard, sometimes, like you said, it melts away a lot of frustration. I think it's a really great reminder. We all know you got to listen. It all starts with listening, etc. But circling back to the fundamentals every once in a while is a great reminder. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else HR-wise for the listeners? I just feel so grateful to have real pearl of wisdom sitting here, and I'm just curious if you want to break off anything else or get back to your conference.
There's just so much that's going on today. You've got ADA accommodation, you have the workplace violence laws, you have we're running into the heat season, right?
Yeah.
So and we face the indoor heat component, and we have a union, and that's always entertaining. So you just have to be prepared and make sure you're doing all the right things and providing all the resources folks need. There's just a lot to unpack right now.
Yeah. I appreciate you sitting in so much, and as always, it's such a pleasure to see you, and I'm so grateful to be at these conferences.
Thank you.
And thank you for everything you do to kind of keep these conferences going and be there for the HR community. I'm sure there's folks out there that would scream at me in the comments if I didn't just give you a full-throated thank you for everything you do for HR in the area.
But part of being in PIHRA is an opportunity for us to give back.
I love that attitude.
But it's also an opportunity for us to pay it forward to those newer HR generalists or HR managers that are coming in. And this conference provides tremendous support and content for them to get to the next level.
Totally agree. And you're not the first PIHRA representative that has said that exact thing. It's really the culture of PIHRA writ large, and I think that's so cool.
Yeah, and to be honest, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't have some of the mentors that I had with PIHRA. So
there you go, young HR folks, go find a good mentor, and this is the Ghost of Christmas Future, a successful HR career. So.
I don't know about that.